We're probably going to just be doing this mostly on the Facebook page, but I wanted to go live everywhere.
I'll just wave at everybody for you.
Yeah, waving at everybody. So welcome everybody to wherever you're listening, whether it be on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, or on LinkedIn. Welcome to our first live in our temporary studio. This is BnB Live. It's what I've been publicizing about, getting ready to go into 2023. And here it is. Happy New Year. And this is our first live.
Live, literally live.
Yeah, literally live. We're in the temporary studio, but I do have some exciting news. I came back earlier today. I went and looked at a spot for a permanent studio and retail space and event space that we are considering moving into and moving forward with that. And hopefully that'll be up to ready to go around the middle of February. And then we'll be able to be live from our permanent studio and have a place for you to come and shop in addition to my space at Fairtrade Long Beach. We were actually considering going into, there's some other pop-ups around, and I was considering going into those, but then felt it dropped in my spirit to, hey, why don't you go find a space? Because part of the reason we wanted to do these lives and where our warehouse is, there's not a lot of lighting. There is a light in there.
There's no electricity.
Right.
You can't plug into anything.
Can't plug into anything. And it's 200 square feet, and they're going up again.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in there since, I think I moved in there September of 2021 and October 2021. A couple months later, I got a notice. Hey, fees are going up. I had too much going on, so I didn't try to negotiate that. But then I just got another notice. Hey, the fees are going up. So it's been going up about 20% both years. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. For this amount, I can pay a little bit more and have a bigger space that I can actually do something in. So the space is going to be in Santa Ana. I'm pretty sure that we're going to be approved for the space. We're going to move in. It's going to be available the end of the month. So we'll be moving in. We'll have a grand opening soiree. Won't we have a soiree?
A soiree.
And we'll have a place to do the soiree, so we don't have to be setting up, and looking forward to that. So what is BnB Live going to be? Part of it's going to be us discussing about fair trade. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. We're going to feature probably different fair trade vendors. We're going to do live shopping. So it'll be maybe about a 10-minute interview series with somebody, and then perhaps they will share their products, but we will also share Baskets and Beads products. We're still flushing this out. Doing interviews with other entrepreneurs, educating people about fair trade, and then having the opportunity to do live shopping. So we'll probably do a 10-minute interview across 10 to 15 minutes across all platforms, and then only do the shopping on the Facebook page. But today we have an opportunity for you to go to the website and purchase something at a very good price, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So do you want to share anything about?
No, you're doing a great job. Keep trucking on.
Vanessa is when I say creative director, I gotta have a little bit of creativity, but she sees things. She sees things that I can't. And she's very, oh, we should do this like this. And I'm like, I would have never even thought of that. This is way over my head. So a lot of times I always tell her, I think, okay, she's not here to help me set up for this pop-up. What would Vanessa do? How would she set this up?
You're doing a great job, by the way. So you're doing just fine. Yes.
And she's helped me set up at events, and I've gleaned a lot from her. If you've been to Fairtrade Long Beach, if you haven't been and you're local, you need to stop by Fairtrade Long Beach and see our space there. All that design was Vanessa's idea. We need to do this and we need to set this up. And I'm like, okay, it looks awesome, but I would have never, because that's just not my wheelhouse. And I'm so grateful to have her. So grateful to have you. So you have to pop by there. And I'm sure when we move into our permanent home that she'll be seeing things that I can't even see. It's like I'm blind. All right, let's talk about what is fair trade. Okay, so Baskets and Beads Kenya is a member of the Fair Trade Federation, and I'm going to read some things right off the Fair Trade Federation website. What the Fair Trade Federation does is verifies fair trade businesses to make sure that we are following the 9 principles of fair trade, which has to do with fair wages and accountability and a whole list of things that are stringently checked. The application is I want to say it's about 20, 25 pages of information that you have to fill out, not only on yourself and on the business, but also on the artisans you work with. They have to be able to reach out to them. And it's to make sure that we are actually having a good relationship with our artisans, because there are people that take advantage of artisans in other countries and exploit them and pay them poorly. So the Fair Trade Federation exists to make sure that there is an accountability line with fair trade between the fair trade business and the artisans they work with, and which I think it's a great thing. If you've ever seen the video, if you haven't, I would suggest it's on YouTube, called Poverty Inc., where a lot of people make poverty a business, and the only people that end up making money are the people who are making it a business, and they're exploiting or taking from those that are in poverty. And Fair Trade Federation makes sure that that doesn't happen. And we're happy to be verified members going on. I think this is our, what are we in? We're in 2023
now.
So I think it will be our fourth year, which is cool. All right. So straight from the Fair Trade Federation website, fair trade is an approach to business and to development based on dialogue, transparency, and respect that seeks to create greater equity in the international trading system. Fair trade business partners with farmers and craftspeople in developing countries who are socially and economically marginalized to find markets and customers for their goods. So that's basically what we're doing. Now I've read this before, and I laugh because fair trade businesses partner with farmers and craftspeople. I used to think, oh, okay, we partner with craftspeople. But now we have started a farm.
Literally a farm.
And I can't bring the picture up now.
Or the video, right?
Or the video where the cabbage is sprouting, and it's exciting. The ladies up in Mount Elgon that we're working with to help develop the farm they've started table banking, and our ladies in Kipsongo slum have also restarted table banking. So what is table banking? Table banking is a way for them to manage their money, because most of them don't have birth certificates, and they don't have government IDs. They don't have a way to get a bank account. So they do something called table banking, where they have a board and they all put in money. It's a way for them to save money and be able to have money that they can pull out and replace, and actually do banking with a group of people that manage the money, and they keep the books. And so if somebody, maybe they say they put $10, they made $20, and they put $10 in their table banking account, and they go along and they haven't made anything one week. Well, they need to get maybe something for some school supply for their child, or get some food. They can go pull some money out of their table banking account, and they'll have money there. But the goal is for them to replace it as soon as they get some more. So both groups are doing table banking, and Layla, our director over in Kenya, has been managing that and making sure that they're set up properly. And I'm excited for them. But when I'm reading this, I'm like, farmers and craftspeople. Okay, so I am now partnering with farmers and craftspeople. Yes. And our goal is, depending on how well the farm does, it's in a place called Mount Elgon, which is it's right by a national park. Mount Elgon National Park is a national park in Kenya and Uganda. It depends on what part of the park you go to. You can step over into Uganda. And it's beautiful up there. It's green, it's rolling hills and mountains. And when we went there to do our women's conference in June, there were too many women, so we had to have it on the side of the mountain. Yeah, and a cow came up while I was speaking. Like,
I wanted to hang out with you.
I know. What is up with that? the cow comes up, and as I'm sharing and moo, and I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, she wanted to come join and be part of the conference.
Mhm.
So we are not exclusive. We can have
The animals. I was
the
saying the
animals
pets, but the animals.
right come along as well. So anyway, so we're hoping to expand that, and so now we're working with farmers as well as craftspeople. Another thing that do you want to cover that?
What is this?
What fair trade really does?
What it means?
Yeah.
What does fair really mean? The word fair can mean a lot of different things to different people. Fair trade is about more than just paying a fair wage. It means that trading partnerships are based on reciprocal benefits and mutual respect, that prices paid to producers reflect the work that they do, and that producers share decision-making power, that national health, safety, and wage laws are enforced, and that products are environmentally sustainable and conserve natural resources.
Yeah. So that's great. And knowing whether or not a product is fair trade, the Fair Trade Federation screens and verifies companies that are fully committed to fair trade, which is Baskets and Beads Kenya and many other organizations. These organizations don't just buy and sell a few fair trade products. They integrate fair trade practices into everything they do. These organizations have a deep level of commitment to fair trade practices and maintain long-term relationships with small producer organizations. You will see some products in the marketplace that carry a fair trade certification seal. Fair trade certification involves a worksite audit and 10% fair trade premium. These labels increase focus on large factories and farms. They are often used by multinational brands who cannot be fully fair trade but wish to improve some of their practices. So you can't I always talk about the goal is to buy fair trade when you can. You can't obviously buy everything fair trade, but you consider some of the products that maybe you wear or you eat. As a matter of fact, let me pull out over here.
And while she's doing that, I'll add to what she just said. What comes to mind as Aldana was kind of reading through the fair trade website there is what it allows us as the consumers, right? Because we are also consumers, but it gives us the opportunity to be what I like to call a conscious buyer. You know, that you're consciously aware of who you're purchasing from and what we are supporting. And so Aldana is going to share with you, obviously, a delicious product.
Okay, so this is Lily's chocolate, and you know a lot of times that chocolate is fair trade because it'll have a label on it. So this has it's a fair trade certified item, and this, if you've never read the article that the Washington Post put out about slave labor in the chocolate industry, you can Google child labor chocolate and see that all the big chocolate manufacturers, Nestle's, Hershey's, Mars, they're all using slave labor from the Ivory Coast. The kids are kidnapped, they're not able to go to school. They're kidnapped and they're forced to pick the cocoa that is used in chocolate. And all these big manufacturers have been saying for years, oh yeah, give us a few years. And it's been going on for years and years and years. So I highly recommend that you read that article. It's on my blog as well, on the Baskets and Beads page somewhere, a few blog posts back. But if you just Google the article about that, you can educate yourself about the problem with chocolate. So this is one product, if you like chocolate. Now, this is my little guilty pleasure. After eating, I'll have some chocolate. I have friends that say they'd eat the whole bar, which I could, but I work on not
moderation.
doing that. And all things in moderation. And one thing about this, it's sugar-free. So that's a good thing too. They have this in a lot of different flavors. And so you can start with something like chocolate, or you've probably heard about coffee. Coffee is a fair trade product. We at Fair Trade Long Beach.
Yeah, you have that. Yeah. You sell it there too. The coffee's there. So.
Yeah, and there's they're in the Fair Trade LA. We have somebody that sells fair trade coffee and tea. So it's easy to find, and it's easy to make a change with one or two things to start doing something fair trade and start promoting fair trade in your own life. Like I said, there's so many things that are made in places you can't be 100% fair trade in your house, but you can do some things to make some changes and and buy some fair trade items. For instance, well, this is a special today. We only have a few of these left. How many?
Literally, you only have, yeah, there you go. There's your numbers.
So how many? I can't.
10, like 10. You have.
Yeah, we have 2 XX. I'm wearing a t-shirt, and so is Vanessa. 2 XX.
Actually, 11. Sorry, 11.
5 extra large and 4 large.
Yeah.
So it's this shirt, and the shirt on the website doesn't have the scripture. This has a scripture on it, which is Matthew 25:40. The King will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." The picture on the website doesn't show the scripture because it was just a generic
mock-up of
it, and I just use that. But we're closing these out. This is not technically a fair trade brand that I bought from it, but they do have on their website fair trade type of practices. They are socially responsible, and they do talk about that on the website. But we're working on moving these out to buy specifically from a Fair Trade Federation brand, and there's only a few left. Right. So normally they're $30, and it's a 3/4 sleeve. I'm wearing
it's
one.
Comfortable. I like this. I like the quality of the t-shirt.
Yeah, it's really nice. And they're $15 until they run out. So normally we're going to do a shopping using a comment sold, but right now, if you want to go to the website, basketsandbeadskenya.com. Actually,
and if you're watching on Instagram right now, we could see there's some viewers that are with us that have been with us from the start of the segment right now. But you feel free to put comments here. You don't have to be so quiet there in the comments section. You can share, say hello to us. I know we waved at everybody there so far, and also too talk to us a little bit about the shirts. Maybe you already have one that you've already purchased. We'd love to hear from you too as well. And so let's get this conversation going.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So so that's on the website right there, basketsandbeadskenya.com on the StreamYard. And you can go on Instagram, you can go into the link tree, and it will take you to the website, basketsandbeadskenya.com. You can just click on it there. And it's until they go $15. That's a really good deal. They're normally $30. If you go to Fair Trade Long Beach, what's there is selling for $30. Mm-hmm. These are $15. What we have left in my little hands over here. So go. I'll ship it out right now. There'll be a little bit for shipping, and I'll ship it right out. It shouldn't take too much. It's probably a first class package. I can put it in a little box. And ship it out to you. And so go to basketsandbeadskenya.com and check that out.
And the beauty about your purchase with the Baskets and Beads t-shirt is that, number one, you get to wear a really cool looking t-shirt. I like mine too. I love the colors, obviously. And it's very comfortable. The fabric is very comfortable. It's very breathable. But in addition to that, you're able to sport around the movement and what's happening with Baskets and Beads. This is definitely a great way to help support and to promote what is happening with Baskets and Beads. People see the shirt on you, they see the logo, and they become more and more familiar with it. So, you're out there in the markets, and you're at the malls, and you're wherever you're at. And, just like any brand, right? We don't have to name all the brands that are out there. You see people wearing brands all the time. And again, let's go back to that concept and that idea of being a conscious buyer. It's like, okay, what I'm wearing with the logo and a design, like, what am I representing? What does that logo say? What does that logo mean? What am I supporting? What am I demonstrating? And so with Baskets and Beads, you're representing a brand that is making an impact in the world, and you're sharing that brand, and you're representing that brand wherever you go. So we appreciate the fact that you take this opportunity to buy what is left in the inventory and then wear it, sport it around, and let people know when they ask, hey, what's that all about? You can share with them. There's so many ways you can do this in helping spreading the word and bringing awareness to what Baskets and Beads is about. There are multiple platforms that Baskets and Beads is available on, everything from the Facebook to the Instagram, the website, so many ways in which you can share it. You can take them right to it and say, here, follow Baskets and Beads. And it gives them now the opportunity to see the growth and the development and what's happening, the movement. I like to use that word, the movement of what's happening with Baskets and Beads. It's not just, you just make a purchase. When you're making the purchase, it's making an impact in the lives of these families.
Yeah, and I wanted to show you some of the features. This is a 3/4 sleeve. See, I got it. It's a 3/4 sleeve shirt. It goes down. It's a nice 3/4 sleeve. It's black. It's on the back. It's just a solid color, and it's a heathered gray. And the logo was put on by T-Shirt Storm, and I've had this one and washed it several times, and it doesn't even look like.
Yeah,
I mean,
the wear on it is actually really good.
It looks about the same, except mine probably has a little bit of pet hair on it somewhere, or one of my hairs, because I shed like my pet. So, who I bribed with Chu. She's over
in the backdrop somewhere. She's behind the scenes, literally.
Yeah.
Real quick, Eldana, we want to acknowledge, it looks like Ascot Father _artwork is saying, excellent. Thank you. So you're welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Yes. So
yeah, it's cool. So so those are there, and we appreciate your support. Speaking of support, or not necessarily support, up on the website also, if you go to basketsandbeadskenya.com, you can click on a tab that is called Mission Kenya. And there's been a lot of people who have asked to go with me to Kenya. I'm opening it up to go. We already have our schedule set, what we're going to do. Layla and I planned that out when I was there in June of last year. June of last year. It's weird.
I got to get used to writing 2023 too. So
oh my gosh. And so I decided to put it up, and the information's there, what the trip is how the trip's going to run. We've adjusted our schedule because of something I discovered on the State Department website. There's an area that we're probably not going to go to. And so I've changed what we're going to do. I have to update that, but it does say schedule subject to change. But it's a 10-day trip, and we're compiling costs, but some of what we'll do, we're definitely going up to Mount Elgon, and it is going to be harvest time when we're there for our third harvest.
Which means you're going to be picking.
Yeah, I want to go and harvest. I think by then it'll be potatoes.
I was going to ask you, we're
growing cabbage. I think we're doing cabbage, onions, then potatoes. I think we're doing cabbage now. And then, so I think it's going to be potatoes when we're there. And I've never pulled a potato out of the ground. So we're not going to go replace the ladies doing the work there and those farmers, but we'll help and maybe pull a potato out of the ground. And one of the other things we're going to stay at the national park. Right now, Layla's looking for the proper accommodation. There's a lot of really nice places up there. We'll get to see the national park, but we're also going to have another women's conference up there, and you'll get to sit with and inspire some of the ladies from Mount Elgon. And then also we're planning on doing a medical clinic as well.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
It's so far up there that they don't have, it's hard for them to get to some place for medical care, especially for their children. So that's one of the things we have planned. And then of course the ladies in Kipsongo, we're going to learn how to roll beads and see how they make baskets. I'm not going to say we're going to learn how to make the baskets. It is very hard. I've sat with them to try
process.
to do it. And I'm talking about the beaded baskets. You've probably seen the little basket bowls. If you haven't, you can see them on the website. They're small little bowls, or they have lids
on them
or in a shape of a jar, or in the shape. Oh, I actually have.
And while she's doing that, I want to acknowledge the thumbs up here on the live here. I don't know if the thumbs up's coming from the Facebook or not, Eldana, but I just want to acknowledge the interaction that's happening with our guests that are with us right now. We're going to wave hello to Tamela Rich, I think I see here, and a huge granola. So we're going to go ahead and wave hello to you as well and say thank you for joining us on the live feed. Right here on the Instagram, don't be so quiet. Feel free to share and comment. Maybe you have already purchased product from Baskets and Beads. We'd love to hear from you regarding the product that you've purchased. Maybe it's been a piece of apparel, a piece of jewelry, or a basket.
I don't have any.
Some of the other housewares. We'd love to hear from you in the comments here as well. Keep the thumbs up coming on over here. If you can throw some hearts, and too bad we can't see comments here, but we definitely could see comments here. So,
you know, there's a way to see comments.
oh, let's see those comments.
Oh, hey.
Oh, there we go.
Tim, what's shaking? Thanks for joining.
Awesome. Okay, so there you have it. So we can see comments here too. So feel free to put in your comments, and also, again, share a little bit about your involvement with Baskets and Beads, how you've been able to be supportive to what's happening, the things that you've purchased. Maybe you've given them as gifts to people. We'd love to hear from you as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Getting hearts again from _artwork as well. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks. I can't believe I don't have a basket here.
I can't believe you don't have a basket here either.
I think I had one over there, but I must have taken it and put it somewhere.
So you're gonna attempt to make some baskets though while you're there, some beaded baskets, right? Or
well, we may. It's so funny story because I sat with the ladies, and there was actually so I went to Kenya. Some of you've heard the story. For those of you who haven't, in 2018 on a mission trip with Pastor Steve Rutenbar, who's now kicking it with Jesus because he passed November a year ago. But I still continued a couple more times to go with him. But since Baskets and Beads was really getting going, instead of the group just going to visit the Kipsongo slum and walk through there and sing with the ladies, I actually had everybody sit down and learn how to make paper beads, which is something we'll do. And then there were a couple ladies making baskets. So I sat with Dorcas. I think Dorcas is our leader in Kipsongo. And she's going, "Oh, madam, you just take this wire. There's all these wires sticking out." She's like, "You just take this wire and you go like this." And then and so I like, okay. And I took the wire and it went like this and beads went everywhere. And she just started laughing. It's really hard because they have all this wire and they have the beads on there, and then they feed beads on and they wrap the wire. It's just really complicated. I think both on the Facebook page and on Instagram, I have videos of them making the baskets. It's really, and for them to make it flat, it's just unbelievable to me.
As Scott's father right now, _artwork is saying he purchased a few beads for his wife already. And then he's also adding that he's definitely going to be purchasing more, including a t-shirt. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Again, how will that purchase take place again? Where are we directing them?
Go to basketsandbeadskenya.com. So if you go there and you just look under t-shirts, it's already marked at $15. So that it's already automatically at that price until we sell out of those. So just very appreciative of your support with that. And I'm excited about having a space for everybody to come and gather and join. And Indigo, you'll get to meet Indigo because she's going to be a part of the space. Or she'll have her crate to go in. But we have all kinds of, there's a lot of things developing. So this is 2023. We're just getting started. This is our first live. Going to be doing live shopping every week.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I think we're going to wait until we get out of the temporary studio before we start having other people come on with their products. I'm part of Fair Trade LA. There's a lot of wonderful products from different countries. And then also Fair Trade Long Beach. So any of those people I'm going to invite to join us and be able to offer their products as well. Mm-hmm. So it can spread the wealth of fair trade. So if anybody has any questions, or if you just want to if you want to get information, because I'm going to start having webinars with Q&A about the trip, so people can ask questions on what to expect. And I'll cover all of that and some tips and tricks you can do to make your travel there, because it does take a minute to get there. It takes a minute, depending on where you're going from. If you're going from Southern California, it takes a minute to get there. When I say a minute, it's like good 26, 30 hours, counting the time you show up at the airport.
Wow.
But I'll give you this travel tip, which I'll talk about later as well when I'm talking about the trip. If you're going on any long trip where you have a layover, book enough time to where you can get, like, so I like to go through Amsterdam or France. If I go through London, I end up spending my time seeing my friend there, and that's great too. But I always allow time to make sure that I pack extra clothes to make sure that I take a shower, because it's a good 11 hours to Europe, and then it's another 8.5 hours to Nairobi. And that's a long time flying in an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have that time in between where you can refresh yourself, take a shower. If we go through Amsterdam, I usually book at least 4-hour to 5-hour layover, and I go into a Yotel, which is an in-airport hotel. There's a Yotel, and I think it's Mercure. Forget the name of it. There's 2 of them in the Amsterdam airport. And then you go and you get out of the crazy of the airport, you take a shower, you relax, you stretch out, you take a nap, whatever you want to do. And then you go jump on the plane and you keep going, and it helps you get over the jet lag faster.
Nice.
Same thing coming back. And it's always great because one of the places we stay, I stay in the same room, but the shower in that room is very interesting. It's sometimes trickles, and sometimes you have to play with the water. It's like, it's hot. It's supposed to be hot, warm, and cold? I think, but it's usually scalding, warm, and freezing. So,
or scalding, cold, freezing. No.
It could be like that too. So
you really want to try to get that medium, but for some reason you can't seem to get that middle. It's like it's either really scorching hot or it's just cold.
Yeah. So the fun thing is coming back, because I came back this time in June. I came back through Amsterdam, but I didn't have enough time to book a Yotel. So I went into the KLM lounge, and they had a really nice shower. You just put in a code and you go in, you're in the shower, and it had a very big shower head, and I just stood there. Oh. But that's some of the fun of it. It'll be a trip that you are not likely to forget. And if you're interested in joining, you can go check out the details of the trip. We don't have the complete cost yet. We have an estimate on the cost. The cost of the trip does not, your airfare is separate. And there's some other things you'll have to do, like get a visa, and you have considerations of whether or not you want to take any like medication for anything, or shots, or any of that. I'll talk more about that on the webinar and things to consider. I hope you'll consider joining. There's a lot of people who have wanted to go. And if you want to go, I'd love to have you along. So that'll be more to follow on that. But you can go find out some of the details now at basketsandbeadskenya.com in the Mission Kenya tab.
Yes.
And soon there will be a form for you to fill out about your interests. And like I said, I'll be having webinars for questions and answers. Those are more things that are going to be happening. The trip is 28 May to 8 June. It's a 10-day trip. I'll arrive early and leave later. But for the actual trip, you arrive in Nairobi the 28th of May and leave the 8th or 9th of June. Usually most of the planes leave like around midnight. So it would be the 8th or 9th. We will do a safari if you're interested.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. And the Samburu area.
You're going to pack it all in there, aren't you?
Right. Yeah.
You're going to be pulling potatoes, you're going to be going on a safari. Man, you're going to attempt to make a beaded basket. And what else? What other things?
Paper beads.
Paper beads. Okay. Paper beads.
Nice. Medical clinic and Indigo. You can probably see on Instagram, but not on StreamYard, that Indigo has come up to make her presence known. So
she has her face on my lap, so I'm petting her at the moment.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Very exciting. Yes, it's very exciting. So there we have Ask God Again, Father. Artwork is fabulous. Very exciting. We appreciate you guys interacting here. And this is going to happen every week, right, Eldana?
Yeah,
this is something,
this is going to be a weekly thing. And,
right.
And it's, going along. I'm still going to do Swahili Sunday on Sunday. That's where I just share some inspirational stuff for your life. For instance, this Sunday, I'm going to be sharing about my normal goal setting. I have a goal setting statement and how you can set actual goals for the new year that work and things to consider.
And the other thing I wanted to add right now, as we're talking about how Eldana was mentioning about every Thursday, then one of the things that you can do in support of what's happening with this network with Baskets and Beads for the Fair Trade Network is that you can also share the flyer content of the date, every Thursday at 5 o'clock. You'll see that posted over on the Baskets and Beads Instagram page. as well as the Facebook page. You can forward that information to your viewers and the people that are in your community circles on your social media platforms. Get the word out there. Let others know that, hey, listen, chime in, listen in on Thursdays, what Baskets and Beads is doing. Again, it's to share the products of what's coming out of Baskets and Beads. And in addition to that, as this concept continues to grow, Aldana's vision is to invite and to incorporate other fair trade products. So you're going to see Baskets and Beads. And then in addition, as it grows, you're going to see other fair trade products being demonstrated and, promoted here on the platform, because it's a community, right? The fair trade, it's a community. And it's been, very pleasant to see Aldana collaborate and work alongside other fair trade products, other fair trade brands, and creating this community. You're a part of Fair Trade LA, and there's a lot going on there, and there's also a lot going on at the retail space, which is the Long Beach Fair Trade Long Beach as well. And so we want to give a shout out to them as well, to Fair Trade Long Beach, and for their support and their love, and obviously there's many products that you can see and support and purchase from there. But as this channel continues to grow, it's going to grow because your support. It's going to grow because you're going to share. You're going to tell others about it and say, hey, listen in on Thursdays at 5:00. Aldana is going to be talking about, and it's going to be a new product every week, right? So next Thursday, Aldana is going to bring to the table a different product that's being created by the women there in Africa with the Baskets and Beads, and maybe even talk a little bit about the history of that product and who the creator behind it and their stories. And the beauty about what Aldana has been doing this whole time with Baskets and Beads is that she really does have an actual relationship with the women that are creating the products. I mean, how many times have you been to Africa already?
7.
See, yeah. So you're not like I know that Layla definitely is your boots on the ground there. No doubt. We know that, right? But you make the effort and you're very intentional about your involvement with the women. I know that you get updates from Layla and you guys have communications and conversations regarding all the women that are involved, and the good updates, and then the ones that are sometimes not so good, the painful ones and stuff. And you're very much emotionally invested in these women. So, so it's just, I know your stories come firsthand. It's not that Aldana's hearing the story from someone else and then conveying that story. These stories are coming directly because she's there with these women and she's spending time with them and engaging not only with them, but even with their children. I know there's plenty of photos of you spending time with them, the children as well, and really developing a relationship with these families. And so it's going to be beautiful to hear the stories behind the product, and a little bit about the women who are creating the product, what their stories are, because again, that's what you are purchasing. It's an investment. It's an investment. It's a piece of, very intricate work. I will even say, I like to call it their soul work. You know what I mean? Like, because it's really, it's that personal, that, not being manufactured by, a machine and all of that. Like, no, this is someone's real hands taking the time to create the piece that you're wearing or you have in your home on display, whether it's a basket or a table runner set or the spoons that are beaded, like all of that. I mean, the paper bead itself,
bracelet.
Yes. And the soapstone work and all of it. I mean, and the inventory has grown so much.
Oh, I know.
It has grown massively. So you're going to want to come back again next Thursday and sit and listen in. You're gonna there's a story attached to the product, and so it's beautiful because where that's coming from.
Yeah, normally we're gonna go 30 to 45 minutes. We want to respect everybody's time and not take up a lot of time. We appreciate you coming and joining us. And it just some final thoughts. I'm excited. So my word, I don't know if you do a word every year. I do. I the last few years I've chosen a word. Like I've had excellence and I've had service and things like that. This year, my word for the year is risk, because I'm taking some risks with Baskets and Beads, like by getting us a permanent space and moving along with the shopping that I've been wanting to do and just making a commitment to do it and some of the other things. And so I'm excited about that. And I also want to add that if you're, well, whether you're local or not, and you want to invite me in to speak about this, I'm available to speak as well.
Yes.
I also speak on negotiation. I wrote a book called Think Like a Negotiator and love to speak and train on that too. If you're interested in having me to come speak about baskets and beads or even negotiation, I always weave the baskets and beads story in there. I'm available for booking for that and sharing the story of the ladies. And there's been Rotary clubs who've had me come and speak in other groups. If you have a church group or a group that likes to support events or activities like this, we do have a nonprofit side that does things to help with school fees and food packs and things like that. And the nonprofit also has been instrumental in putting in the funds to get the farm started until it starts producing income and can be fully supporting by its own contributions, which is our goal for both the ladies and our group that we work with the soapstone in the Kisii region of Kenya, and then the ladies up in Mount Elgon. So that, any final words before we sign off?
No, I think what a great first segment. So yeah.
But
head over to basketsandbeadskenya.com, purchase your t-shirt today. Limited sizes. Again, 2 XXL are available, 5 extra large, and 4 large are available. And right now the price for these t-shirts are $15. So head over to Baskets and Beads.
Price.
Yes, half price. Basketsandbeadskenya.com. Purchase your shirt today, sport it, wear it, promote it, help us get the word out there, and share every Thursday. The Fair Trade Network is here. 2023.
Awesome. So until next week, well, if you join me for Swahili Sunday, I'll see you then. But as I always like to say, nakupenda in Swahili is love. So love you. So nakupenda. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night.